Good morning or afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the 2021 EMI-SIG annual meeting. Today's presentation on work from home burnout is brought to you by Thad Kedzierski. Thad has been employed at Lawrence Livermore National Lab for 37 years, with 16 years of it in emergency management. Good morning or afternoon, everyone, for joining the He has seen many advances in science, communication, and processes. He stresses that this pandemic has created a challenge on how to continue to be proactive, yet continue to support the goals of the institution. On an administrative note, we ask that you put all of your questions into the chat for Thad so we can answer them after his presentation. And remember, you get participation points for utilizing the chat and interacting within the Attendify app. Remember, the more you use the app, the more points you acquire. At this time, I'd like to welcome Thad to the virtual stage. Thad, the floor is now yours.
Okay, thank you, Kimberly. What I'd like to do is, before my video starts, I'd like to say a few words. COVID-19 has been a very serious matter. Many people have gotten sick and even died. Many people have had their lives changed because of the pandemic. My wife's a nurse in a local hospital, and that's all she's been dealing with since this thing hit, has been COVID patients. And for those of you who've been affected in a negative way by this pandemic, I'm sorry. I truly am. My presentation today is titled Work from Home Burnout. And during the last year and a half, I've talked to many friends and coworkers and family and found out that most people they're experiencing some form of burnout while working from home, whether it's never leaving home, dealing with kids, the never-ending video meetings that we have, and all the isolation that comes with it. It's been difficult for everybody. What I've tried to do in my presentation is to have a lighthearted look at burnout. What I think is it's okay to find some humor in what we're going through nowadays. This work from home thing that we're doing, it's okay to laugh at it sometime. I've tried to address that, and I hope I don't offend anybody in my presentation. Sometimes it's just okay to laugh. And with that, I hope you enjoy my presentation titled Work from Home Burnout.
On March 17, 2020, the workforce from the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory was sent home due to COVID-19 concerns. At the time, we were told we'd be home for about 2 weeks. Well, after 1 year at home with the prospect of continued work from home for the next 4 to 6 months or even longer, many of us have experienced burnout and more. For me, I've been working from home for over 12 months and have only gone to my office twice, the last time in August of last year. As I continue to work from home, I examine my productivity and efficiency and adjust as necessary. With distractions such as family, pets, laundry, church, cleaning, cooking, and of course online shopping, it feels impossible to remain focused on work. As I never leave home, the line between work and home becomes more and more blurred. Previously, my one-way commute was 50 miles. It's now 5 steps to my office. It has been a challenge to separate work and home and maintain a good work ethic as well as maintaining my sanity. I will share the burnout factors I've experienced as well as some coping mechanisms I've found to be useful. I have found that there are certain burnout factors that affected me more and more as time goes on. These include isolation, apathy, avoiding work, reduced performance, and an inability to disconnect. Let me talk about each one in this list. Other than those times when I was a kid and sent to my room for a timeout, I've never experienced isolation. For the past year, I've been working from home with a house full of people who have all retreated into their own worlds. We were all scared into thinking we were going to get sick and people were going to die like they did during the Spanish flu in 1918. Then, 500 million people, or about a third of the world's population at the time, were infected in 4 successive waves with about 20% resulting in death. Today, courtesy of the Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center, we saw the infection spread in real time over the planet. With over 130 million people infected and almost 3 million deaths as of the beginning of April of this year, we have cause for alarm. However, from lessons learned in the past, we knew that isolation, with all its variations, could help us through this pandemic. So, we all stayed home. We were told not to go out to restaurants, churches, movies, bars, schools, or anywhere else, other than for gas or groceries, or of course Walmart. We got our computers out and we turned on our cell phones. For those of us lucky enough to have a job through this pandemic, we attempted to create some normalcy in our day-to-day life. We replaced in-person meetings and conversations with never-ending video and telephone conferences. All our work came through the computer, which we stared at all day long. And we did it alone, at home, at our desks, kitchen tables, sofas, or anywhere else we could set up our laptops. All day, 5 days a week, we worked and communicated via our computers. We replaced person-to-person contact with our computers. It became our gateway to the world, and it made us alone. We became isolated from the world, and it changed us. The dictionary defines apathy as a lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. Apathy is when you lack motivation to do anything or just don't care about what's going on around you. There are days when I wake up in the morning and say to myself, why? Actually, waking up has been the issue. I used to wake up for work at about 4:45 in the morning, commute 50 miles, and start my day about 7 a.m. When we were sent home last year in March, I thought to myself that I could sleep in a bit, shower, and get dressed for a full productive day starting at about 7 a.m. As the weeks progressed, sleeping in became more and more inviting. Why should I get dressed for work when the most anyone will see is my face? So, a nice shirt and shorts became the uniform of the day. And from there, my day began to start later and later. Don't tell my boss, but there are some days I don't wake up until 9 a.m. or so. It can be tough to be motivated for another Zoom or WebEx call with 50 people, or waking to 100 emails where most of them are replies to replies to replies. And I can always blame the internet for going down when I'm called on during a meeting when I'm actually playing Doom or Angry Birds on my computer. Are we done with apathy yet? Actually, I like my job and the people I work with. Well, most of them at least. The hardest part has been maintaining a constant interest at work. At the office, there's a minimum of distractions, and we tend to go through the day at a relatively constant pace. At home, however, there are many distractions. A home-cooked breakfast, the dog needs out, mailman, the kids need something, hey, there's no toilet paper. And let's not forget online shopping. Amazon has become everyone's best friend. Oh, by the way, I just ordered some USB cables and another phone thing I really didn't need. Yes, there is work to be done, and I do try to focus and get some things done, however futile. It's tough to work from home like this. I'll be back. My daughter needs me to help her with her homework, and I need to change the music that's playing. The dog needs out. Oh yeah, and I just downloaded Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Other than distractions and apathy, there were a few obstacles in recreating a productive home office. When we were sent home last year, we were given a laptop and told to sign on and work. It took time to get together the tools I needed to be productive. I got out a monitor I had in storage and connected it to give me more workspace. Then I needed a second keyboard tray, a mouse pad, a mouse, cables, footrest, cup holder, phone holder, USB hub, earbuds, video camera, the list goes on and on. Thank you again, Amazon. You seem to pop up over and over again. Even with all these cool tools, I found I was unable to match my work output from home as compared to what I did while I was at the office. It just didn't happen. Another thing that significantly affected me was my inability to disconnect from work. I found myself constantly checking emails at all hours of the day. It was not unusual for my boss to send emails out in the evenings or on weekends. So, I never put my phone down, well, except to play solitaire or Angry Birds, of course. I got to the point that I became self-conscious about my lack of productivity while at home, and I would check emails and texts 7 days a week. Not that I did anything about them, I just felt compelled to remain connected. It hasn't been easy. I'm sure most people feel the same way I do and have their own stories to tell, but hey, it's lunchtime. I'm going to McDonald's with my phone. Here's a few suggestions I found useful to help me cope with work from home burnout. Setting regular work hours. Taking vacation or sick leave. Learn a new hobby. Have a flexible job description. Make your home office more productive, fun, and innovative. Communicate for both work and personal reasons. And of course, don't forget your family. They say human brains like structure, but remote workers seem to have a feast or famine problem with it. We feel like we are stuck in a home office without delineation between work life and personal life. The key is to find a balance. Implement office hours by silencing notifications and activating an out-of-office response outside of normal work hours. This way, no matter if you're shopping, driving, or on the couch, your brain knows that it's time for you to relax. With the new tools I purchased for my home office, without any tax breaks from the federal government, thank you, I found myself in a better position to work. But again, distractions and apathy hit me. So I made a pact with myself. I would accomplish one good thing each day for my job. I set a realistic goal for the day. Whether it was reviewing a document, writing an article, resolving an issue with our new emergency management facility, I did something positive for each day. Each day had at least one success story. Each day became a new adventure to accomplish something meaningful, besides a high score in Pac-Man. I would start my day when I needed to, putting in 8 or 9 hours per day when I could, and come to grips with the fact that I could only do so much from home. When I did this, my attitude changed considerably. We all need to turn off once in a while. We need to refresh, regain our clarity, and forget work for a time. While many relaxing events like movies and concerts are not open during COVID-19 lockdowns, there are plenty of things to do. Whether you decide to take a long drive or just enjoy some time at home in the backyard, make sure that you completely unplug. Turn off all notifications, yes, even your phone and computer. Gasp. Forward your inbox and tasks to a coworker while you're away, and make a rule to not talk or think about work at all. If you are sick, it's easy in today's work environment from home to not take off and just pretend to work or listen to that conference call. It's more important to get healthy and work at 100%. Don't feel guilty. Work will be there when you return, and you will be ready to tackle most anything. I found that during the past year, I fell into a rut. I felt my job became redundant. The same thing every week with no changes. Boring. I decided to talk to my supervisor and coworkers and pick up some different duties that were still within my job scope. I joined a committee, became part of a working group planning our new emergency operations center, and I mentored some new employees. I helped some of my coworkers with their job by touring the lab for them to review some chemical storage issues, and I helped with our disaster self-help program. I made sure to change things up enough to make work fresh without leaving my field of expertise. I even did something I've never done before, and I've done it twice now. I have prepared and presented for EMI-SIG. While I have attended several meetings in the past, I never became a speaker. This alone has given me a better outlook on myself and my peers throughout DOE. The bottom line is, if you're feeling stuck in a rut, steer yourself out of it. Work with your strengths and interests. Your scope of work may need to be addressed. Either simplify your tasks to streamline your productivity, or diversify them enough to allow for more creativity and spontaneity.
Amazon, Best Buy, the Internet.
What more needs to be said? Other than spending a small fortune on home office items, remember to make your work area fun and inviting. Get a comfortable chair. Set up near a window if possible. Do whatever it takes to make your work from home space somewhere you want to be during your normal workday. Make your home workspace an area you enjoy being in. Work needs to be balanced with time off. If you have nothing to do but work, it's time to discover other parts of your personality. Exercise, play games with the family, clean house, or go through old photos and arrange them. I have become a master chef during the past year, and my waistline shows it. Learn a new art, or catch up on all the reading you ever wanted to do. Try to make your hobby independent from your work effort. Try something new, like learning a musical instrument or fixing up your home. Just do something that keeps your mind going but doesn't involve work. And no, learning new drink recipes probably isn't helpful, although fun. It is important to always remember that family comes first, even when working from home. There are times when I finally get focused on a task, like preparing this presentation, when one of my children pops his or her head in the room and says that fateful word, "Dad." At first, I got a bit irritated as I felt that they caused me to lose my train of thought, but that train wasn't really moving fast anyway. I then realized that my family comes first. When they are happy and cared for, I am more productive and able to concentrate on the task at hand. Don't become a hermit, however easy it is. It will only make life worse. If you're feeling burned out, tell your family, boss, and coworkers as early as possible. They can collaborate with you to redistribute your workload, update reporting rituals to provide more recognition and motivation, and provide encouragement. Who knows, your family, friends, and teammates may be feeling the same way as you, so you'd be doing a favor for more people than just yourself. I share this burnout factor with several of my coworkers, and to my surprise, they feel the same way. It was very comforting to know that I was not alone and I had someone to talk to and be encouraged. Once I identified my burnout factors and took the initiative to find solutions that fit my personality and lifestyle, life became much easier. While it didn't return me to the glory days of pre-COVID-19, it did help me to become a better employee and, most importantly, a better person, husband, and dad.
Thank you, Thad, for this incredible presentation. I know that this hit close to home for many of us. At this time, we're going to go ahead and answer some questions, starting with some that have come in through the chat. First one is, how do you hope that your presentation impacts everyone watching?
One of the things I found out that when we got sent home last year in March is that everybody was handed a computer and said, go home, figure it out. And a lot of people weren't prepared. A lot of people didn't know who to turn to or who to talk to. And as time went on, they found out that things like, hey, it's the middle of the day and my kids are crying, so I'm not working for a couple hours, or a friend stopped by, or I had to run to the store, things like that. They didn't know if it was okay or not. They kind of felt alone. And after talking to folks, I kind of told them, I said, you're not alone. We're all going through the same thing. We're all dealing with it. So what I'm hoping is my presentation will do is let people know you're not alone in the pandemic. This has changed everybody. Our habits have changed. How we do things at home changed. Everything we're doing is different, and that's okay. It's okay that we're in a different world right now. And you're not alone. And share this with people. Let them know that it's okay if during the day you flex your lunch a little bit or you talk to people. Things aren't the same way as they were in the office. I can't stand up and call in 4 or 5 coworkers right now and say, hey, everybody, let's sit down with a cup of coffee and talk. I talk to one person, then the next, then the next, then the next, find out 2 people aren't available because they're on another WebEx. You're not alone in your work environment. Things have changed and we've been able to cope.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I definitely agree with you. I think a lot of us that have viewed this video today are going to take a lot of the suggestions you put and implement them into our work from home life. One more question. Do you still find yourself checking emails 7 days a week?
I hope my boss isn't on the call right now. Hi, Jerry. Yes. I was on vacation the last 2 weeks. All right, I got 472 emails. Yeah, I kind of checked them because you don't want to miss anything. You're sitting here, you're so plugged in, it's so hard to deal with. I eventually got to the point where I just left my phone at home and left. And I felt totally naked, if you will. I didn't have my phone. I didn't know what to do. Yes, it's still an issue. And I know from talking to many of my coworkers, they feel the same way. We're plugged in and it's hard to unplug.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, thank you so much, Thad. Your presentation was tremendously amazing. Everybody enjoyed it. We got a lot of great feedback in our chat. I have one more question for you, and it is, can you suggest any ways to help us stay connected on a more personal way with our coworkers?
It's funny that the person who asked this I work with. While at work, I made it a point to talk to my coworkers daily. We would sit down, we would talk, we would maybe impromptu training. I'm one of the more senior guys there. So it's like we would go through, and every day you would have that in-person thing, which was really nice. Nowadays, we don't have that. And when I find I have time, maybe somebody else is busy with their kids or with a school. School's back in session, so maybe they're taking their kids or picking them up. My recommendation is to make an effort. Pick up the phone, text somebody, even if it is, and there's my boss, he's telling me get to work. Even if you find out that you can't connect, you can't make a phone call or somebody, text somebody. We can always read a text later. It just says, hey, how you doing? Was thinking about you. How's the Magruder file? Whatever the case may be. And as long as we do that, we stay connected. And at some point during the week, during the month, we connect, and we will find, in fact, with this particular person and several others, we will have a conversation. Then we don't talk to each other for 2 or 3 weeks in person because work, vacations, other things. When we get back together, it's almost like you pick up the conversation from the point you left 3 weeks ago and you continue on. Do that. And it just takes making an effort to stay in touch.
Awesome advice. One more question in the chat for you is that a clown in the chair behind you?
Yes, that was many years ago. I have kids here. In fact, my youngest is 17 and just graduated from high school. But one of my children, my daughter, got that as a birthday gift, Christmas gift or something when she was about 3 or 4 years old. She liked clowns. She saw it in a movie. Hey, this is cool. So we got it for her. Then she made the mistake of watching some movies online like Poltergeist and Killer Clowns from Outer Space and all of that. She was terrified of the clowns. So she didn't know what to do with it. So I kept it. And every once in a while, I kind of point to it and say, he's going to get you. But that was my daughter's. And I just will not part with it just because of that reason. It's my only control over her.
Good story. Well, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us today for this presentation. If you have not already done so, please do not forget to locate this presentation in the Attendify app and complete the session survey to account for your attendance. Thad, it was an honor to be a part of your presentation today, and thank you, everybody. Just a couple of reminders really quickly. There is going to be social hour this evening. Tonight is going to be the scavenger hunt with Miss Berna Woods, so that should be really fun. If you guys have any questions about locating the survey, please reach out to me on the Attendify app, and I will be happy to assist you guys. Have a great day, everybody.